Welcome back to another video. This is your host, the Terrible Tory. Yes, I know the negative connotations associated with the word Tory, but I'm not that kind of Tory. I'm talking about an intellectual Tory, a disruptor. That's why I call myself the Terrible Tory. Alright, so today we're going to talk about the Stephon Clark shooting that happened last year. I live here in Sacramento. And yesterday, the district attorney came out and after she had completed her report, after exhaustive going over the evidence and disclosure and research, and she has decided not to charge the officers in that shooting for very good reasons. Now, I'm not going to reiterate her reasons. You go check it out. See what she has to say about the case. But as you could easily predict, Black Lives Matter, the Clark family, and all these social justice warriors come out of the woodwork, including the politicians. Now, there's just a couple of things. First off, I recall last year when this shooting happened and the initial autopsy report out of the coroner's office said one thing. Well, the Clark family went and got a separate autopsy report that contradicted that report. And so it went back to the coroner's office for another autopsy, and their second report did not change. They were right the first time. Clark's family report was fudged. It was a lie. So what did they do when this came out? Well, they all of a sudden demanded transparency. And the demand for transparency has been loud and clear this whole time. So, the district attorney said, you got it. You want transparency? Here it is. And she laid the case out, including releasing the video of the policeman's body cam. Okay, the body cam footage is also out there. Now, the body cam footage is, it's hard to see what's going on because it happened at night. There's some glare on the camera, but all of the evidence, and the preponderance of the evidence, has been over a year now. So, all of the evidence points to the fact that these two officers legitimately feared for their lives, and feared for their safety, and legitimately thought that this guy had a gun. So, now that the black community, and the Clark family in particular, has their transparency that they've been so loudly demanding all year, they're not happy with it. They're saying, there's no justice. And of course, you know what follows no justice, right? No peace. That's right. No justice, no peace. So, today, the Arden Mall is closed due to the expectation of protests over the DA's decision not to charge these officers. I'm going to call it what it is. They're not expecting protests. What they're expecting is black mob violence. That's why the Arden Mall is closed the 3rd of March, Sunday, 2019. Black mob violence is what they're expecting. So yes, hey, I gotta hand it to the Clark family and to the black community. At least they keep their word. They do what they say they're going to do. They demanded transparency. They got it. They didn't like it. They said, you know what? We don't think this is justice. We're not going to give you peace. And guess what's going to happen today? Yeah, now I have to deliver pizza later on. I actually have a job to go to. I don't have time to waste going downtown and joining either side. But you know what? I bet you, just because of the nature of my job, which takes me down in that area, I'm going to have to wind up dealing with this black mob violence on some level or other. I may get to see it, I may not. But, I'm going to be exercising every bit of caution that I have when I go into that part of town today because, like the Clark family has promised, there won't be peace because they didn't get justice, right? Well, I'm curious to know what justice they wanted. Oh, yeah, right. They wanted those two officers to be charged with murder. But they didn't commit murder. The victim, the so-called victim, was smashing out car windows on the night in question, threw a cinder block through the window at an 80-year-old elderly man in his own house, jumped the fence to his grandmother's place, which, of course, nobody knew that it was his grandmother's place at that moment. And the autopsy report discovered enough drugs in his system to knock out a horse. I don't know how the guy was still on his feet, but be that as it may, he was on a lot of drugs. Oh yeah, not to mention the fact that he expressed suicidal ideation and just a few days before this incident had been researching different ways to kill himself on the internet. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he committed suicide by cop. Now, of course, the mother is saying, oh, he was such a good boy, there was no indication. She ignored every red flag there was, and believe me, there were lots of red flags. He was a felon convicted of domestic assault. And on the night in question, earlier that day, he had beaten up his girlfriend for the third time, and the police were called. He knew he was in trouble. He was running from the cops and smashing car windows on the way. Another call came in as a result of him smashing car windows up and down 29th Street. I guess there were only 3 car windows smashed in. Regardless, doesn't matter. The guy was exhibiting criminal behavior. He was exhibiting suicidal ideation. He was engaged in vandalism. He was engaged in trespassing. And he was behaving in a violent manner. And he got shot down. I'm sorry, I don't have any sympathy for the guy or for his family, because I know what their motivation really is. Ka-ching! For all the sympathy that they're going to get, especially with Black Lives Matter on their side. Black Lies Matter. And they're promoting every lie they can come up with. So if you live in Sacramento and you happen to live down in that area, man, just be careful out there. Don't be stupid. Don't join them. Don't join the opposing side. In fact, I'd probably recommend you just stay home or go to work, or I would say go to the movies, but then a lot of black mob violence happens at the theaters too. Oh, this is your Terrible Tory signing off. Leave a comment down below, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video.